Okay, here we go. Great. Recording is going. So glad to have y'all all on our call tonight on this very important topic called cold depression and how to overcome it. And right now, we are in a very unique time in the history of humanity. And so both Tina and I are going to be talking a little bit about what's going on right now and the fact that there have been spiritual teachers throughout time who have talked about this time period and have given us very powerful spiritual tools to help us get through this time period. And so one of the tools comes from the Kundalini Yoga tradition. And there's a very simple practice, a breath practice with mantra and chanting that's very simple. Anybody can do it, and you don't have to be a yogini, you don't have to do strange poses, and you don't have to do any of that to be able to get powerful benefits from what we're going to be teaching tonight that will help you with this thing called co-depression that all of us have high susceptibility to experience right now. Maybe if it's not even our own cold depression, but it's the cold depression that's coming from the collective right now, given the situation. So I got a very strong guidance in the past 2 days that I needed to present on this important topic so that if people right now are suffering or they have family members who may be feeling the symptoms at this time, that there is simple tools, spiritual tools and solutions that can help you. So that is the good news. So both Tina and I are going to do a quick introduction for those of you who may not know us. If you've never done Zoom before, let me just give you a quick little 101 about Zoom. So at the bottom of your screen, you'll see all these little icons, and you're going to see one that says chat and it's a little bubble with 3 dots in it, and you can click on that and it opens up a white box to your right usually, and this is where you can type in information, you can ask questions, all of that. I'm asking everybody to keep their little microphone on the left corner, keep it off, meaning you're going to see a red slash through it. That keeps us clear of any noise coming from your background or wherever you are right now. Since this is being recorded as a replay, only those who are speaking or making noise are the only ones that are going to show up on the screen. So just to let you know, as we send it out as a replay, you will not show up on the video unless you unmute yourself and speak, and then we'll see you on the video. So if you don't want to be on video, do not unmute, and you can type into the chat. If you don't care about being on the video, then you can always unmute when we open up for questions, and you can share with us at that time. So I just want to let you know how that works, and that this will be placed on my YouTube channel for people to watch, because there's a lot of people that don't realize right now that they are actually struggling with symptoms of cold depression. So I'm going to let Tina introduce herself, and then I'll share a little bit more about myself. Some of you already know me, but first, the first thing I do want to say is that Tina was a mentee of mine. She was in a mentorship program of mine, what, 2, 3 years ago? I can't remember. Yeah. And I introduced her to Kundalini Yoga. She fell in love, and she is now an amazing Kundalini Yoga teacher. And so she is sharing with you in the chat all these links of the different types of classes that she's doing online right now to help people with breath work and all kinds of different supports that can really help you right now. Kundalini Yoga is unbelievable. I love it. I felt it was a huge blessing in my life to go through the training process, and it is beautiful. And of course, gong is a part of it. You'll see that Tina's got her little gong on the other, right behind her. So there is some beautiful gifts that come from this tradition that are very simple and easy to implement in your life. And what I love about this particular practice that we're going to share with you tonight is that even if you don't want to do the mudra that we're going to teach you, even if you're driving and you can't do it, just playing the chant is actually enough until you're able to actually sit quietly and do the actual mudra. So even if you just play the music and listen to that and chant it, even if you can't sit and do the pose, you can just do the music, and that will even assist you. So I'm going to be sharing more with you about that. But let me just have Tina share more about who she is. And then we will, then I'll come back to me, talk a little bit more about this thing called co-depression, and then we'll get into the practice. So Tina.
Thank you so much for having me, Linda. I'm so grateful to be here. Hi, everyone. Hello. I'm an intuitive artist, and I was a counselor in a past life. And that led me to look at all different ways to bring healing and upliftment to the body, and to be able to connect to emotions and the connection to your spirit. And so that's led me to a journey of many different modalities. I was very curious about yoga for many, many years, because I know that I felt better when I could stretch my body and I could ground more fully in my body, because not being connected to the body is often an issue for many, many people. And I tried many different other traditions, but the minute I tried this, when Linda taught me that one set, I immediately started doing it every day. And it's been, an incredible journey of getting my accreditation as well. So, but the beauty of this is a simple 3-minute breath can take you a long way. And so through sound, through breath, through movement, and you will find what works for you, what resonates with you, because this is a time of really tapping into what works for you individually, because it might not work for someone next to you. So it's a time to explore, to try different things and say, this makes me feel more like myself. So that's going to be your big question to answer. Does this make me feel more like my true self? So we'll talk a little bit more about the specific the chants and things like that we do in this particular class, but just explore now. See what works in your body, because that's the only test we really have. Go ahead.
Beautiful, Tina. Exactly. Right now, we are all having to pull out all stops and use the tools that work. And some of us have tools and some of us don't. And we need to have something right now, whether it's a meditative practice, a walking in nature practice, praying the rosary or the mala practice, listening to high vibration music. There's a lot of different tools that are available to us. We just have to actually use them. It's really critical right now. And so so just briefly for those that are maybe on the call that do not know me, I am a spiritual intuitive soul guide. I am a channel, and I work with transmuting energy as a sacred alchemist on top of doing the yoga work and sound healing. And I have a lot of different tools that I draw from. So I call myself a bit of a spiritual mystic, because I draw from many different traditions, because they all contain beautiful light. And so we are presenting to you tonight some light from the tradition called Kundalini Yoga. So Kundalini Yoga is a yoga of awareness. It was literally created for this time period of the Aquarian Age. And for those of you who saw the email, you read the quote, "Cold depression is our single biggest challenge as we enter the Aquarian Age. And it affects vitality of spirit. It leads us to behave in ways we would not otherwise." Yogi Bhajan, who brought this type of Kundalini Yoga to the United States back in the 60s, he says that he cautioned us that as we transition into this Aquarian Age, which is what we're doing right now, that this transition is going to last from now until about 2038. Okay, so for the next 18 to 20 years, we're going to be in this transition time. And it was predicted that humanity would struggle with this phenomena that is called cold depression. That I don't know. I think it's coined from the Kundalini tradition, so it's not a. You won't find that in the DSM-5 or 6 or wherever we are now in psychology. It's not a clinical term from this perspective. So just to let you know that, because we are not psychologists, I know that Tina was a counselor in another lifetime, and I was in the field of psychology myself, but we are not standing in as mental health workers. So we just want to make that very clear. We are here as spiritual teachers, as yoga teachers only. So we want you to be discerning. We want you to make sure you're listening to your own truth. We want to make sure that you get the support and the help that you need. So cold depression is a very specific type of symptoms that we're going to go through right now, and that this meditation can support you. But this does not mean that you shouldn't go and receive further support and help if you need it, if you start diving into what in the traditional world is called clinical depression. So we want to make sure that, we're not misleading you in any way. We want you to make sure you take care of yourself. And we're just offering a spiritual tool from this particular tradition of yoga that can assist you. So we want you to make sure that you are someone who is very discerning and takes care of yourself. So I just had to say that. So as we look at what this thing from the Kundalini Yoga tradition, what is this? Okay, so cold depression is when the external demands in our world are greater than our internal capacity to deliver at this moment. And so we kind of spend our reserves. And we're kind of at capacity right now, given what's going on in the world. So what happens is this type of depression it's a type of a numbing out. It's like this insensitivity to your own self. It's like you can't even feel yourself is the way that it's described. Like you don't feel yourself. And this is why in this tradition it's called cold. Depression is cold. And it leads you in some cases to anger, like internal anger, anger towards yourself. And what's worse is this isolation from your own soul. And this is the more critical part of it. Tina, did you want to share more about that?
Yeah, I'm just looking at it and some more of the description, and it says you're cut off from your inner guidance. And I think that creates this sense of loneliness and anxiety and loss of meaning. And so we really, I think that's the importance now more than ever is connecting to your own guidance and to be able to say, oh, I'm not connected right now. I'm feeling a little disconnected. I don't know why. And not feel like you don't have options. Because I think that's one of the illusions of this time is that we are stuck indefinitely and we can't pull ourselves out of it. So it's important to raise your vibration, raise that through sound. That's why playing the music in the background would be very beneficial to you. And just notice what supports you because it might be different from 10 years ago, right? So just notice the subtle things that make you connect to your own guidance so that you know what to do for yourself. And that's the whole point of this.
Yes, exactly. And so one thing to notice is when people start going into this thing called cold depression, they begin to dive into um, extra stimulation. So they will, pound the coffee, they will do the wine, they will go into substance abuse, or they will have, addictions that they thought they had gotten rid of. They start to come back. They'll start re-engaging in some extreme risk-taking behaviors of some sort at times because they're wanting to feel again. They're wanting to feel themselves. So they will then turn to those particular things, which of course, as you know, does not really serve. It actually just feeds the problem even more. And it can lead to, and also from an emotional standpoint, when you are in the state of cold depression, this insensitivity, this inability to feel your own self, the inability to feel your own soul, will then lead to you being very reactive with other people, very reactive with your family members, with your significant other. You will find that you're very impatient, or you'll kind of either crave drama or create drama because there's this part of you that wants to feel again. It wants to connect again with it, with your soul. And it's interesting because Yogi Bhajan, who was the teacher of this lineage of yoga here in the United States, he said that it's called the silence of the soul. I remember when I first read that, it just kind of sat with me like, wow, your soul is silent. Woo! You can feel that. Um, And so right now, because we are in many ways being forced to be isolated, that just perpetuates or triggers this issue called cold depression. So we have to do things to counteract, as Tina was saying earlier, counteract some of this isolation that we're kind of forced to do right now, so that we don't dive deeper into this disconnect from our own selves, this disconnect from our soul. Because when we disconnect from ourselves and soul, we disconnect from everything. And then the comeback is a lot harder to get back, into life again. So interestingly, it says here, cold depression is not just a personal challenge. This is key. It occurs across an entire population during global transition, such as the one we're in now. That's an actual quote from our Kundalini Yoga site about this time period. It says that when there is a major frequency change, which is happening on the planet right now, we are ascending as a humanity. Our whole Earth, everyone, we are literally in the process of raising our frequency. It says that cold depression at these times can increase to profound levels. It's like a sudden tide. And so it's called the gray period of the planet. And that's occurred many times in the past. So this isn't a new thing. There have been times in the past where the planet has gone through these gray periods when there was a lot of epic or epical transitions going on. And right now we're literally transitioning from the Piscean epic to the Aquarian. So we're literally in the transition right now that will continue through at least 2038. So we've got to start implementing powerful spiritual tools that ground us and that support us so that we can get through this with as much lightness as possible. Tina?
And we sing that song, Aquarius. That's another way to bring song, right, and sound, and to uplift, right? So any of your favorite songs that help bring that about, do it.
Yes.
To support you.
Yes, and just to know that, this particular meditation and mantra we're going to teach in a minute was specifically associated with helping with cold depression. However, any kind of chanting, humming, dancing, movement, anything that helps to bring up your frequency, including breath, which is Tina's going to teach a real simple breath process in a minute. Breath can shift the energy, which actually changes your neurochemistry. And so the actual meditation we're going to do tonight, it's going to be a combination of a mudra that we're going to show you, chant and sound that we're going to also teach you, and also the drishti, where you're pointing your eyes, which actually creates a neurochemical release in the brain that can shift you out of this cold depression experience, which raises your vibration. So know that breath and chant in and of themselves also can support you to stay in higher elevated states. And so the message that's been coming through, not just for me, but of course I have other practitioners that I follow or who are mentors of mine as well. And they're all saying the same thing. They're all saying that right now, every single day, probably several times a day, we need to tune in and support ourselves with tools that keep us in the high vibration, because otherwise we will start to sink very fast by the end of the day, because there's so much moving in the collective and we're all feeling it. It's not just ours, we're feeling the collective's movement right now too. And so it's important for us to constantly check in. Okay, do I need a tool right now? Do I need to just stop for 1 minute and just do some deep breathing? Do I need to just go take a brief 5-minute walk around my block? Do I need to just sit and listen to some high vibration music? Can I just sit silently for a moment and just connect to source and feel my soul and my spirit at this moment? So there's all these different ways that we need to connect several times during the day in order for us to stay in these higher frequency states, because this is what's going to help to stabilize humanity right now. The more of us that can be in these higher frequency states, and we keep reconnecting, because it's affecting all of us. It's affecting us as light workers. It's affecting everybody out there. Nobody right now is immune to all of this incredible transition that's happening globally on the planet. So we're all having to do our self-care in a really committed way right now. So this is an invitation for you to begin committing and loving yourself so much and loving humanity so much that you take care of yourself in the ways that work for you. So this is just one possible invitation of a spiritual tool that can support you. But I encourage you, and I know Tina would too, to please explore all the kinds of tools that are out there that can assist you, so that you don't get bored with any specific tool. You have different ones that you can draw on. So this is one that I love. It's easy, it's simple. You can do it anytime. You have high vibration, beautiful music. The chant is not difficult at all, and even the mudra that we hold, the way that we position our hands, is also very simple as well. And again, you don't need to be some kind of flexible yoga person to do this. It doesn't require any crazy poses of any sort, which I like. So let's see here. Tina, would you like to share any last things about cold depression or whatever before we get into the breath work?
No, I just wanted to mention that the breath work we're going to do is alternate nostril breathing. I did have a link for you there if you wanted to copy and paste all those links so you have it for the future. Go ahead and do so. It's a 3-minute breath link right there, but we're going to do a shorter version of it today. But this particular breath kind of coincides with this meditation we're going to do, because it talks about if you're going through an intense stress or shock, alternate nostril breathing also works on both sides of the brain and changes the brain chemistry. So the two together is a winning combination of supporting you. So that's all I need to say.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the word shock, because a lot of people don't realize that we actually, as a global community all around the world, we are a bit in shock. We're like, what the heck is going on here? And so there's waves of shock actually happening with, you know, what's going on out there, what's going on personally in your life, you know, that kind of thing. So that is for real.
I wanted to mention something that we are going through lots of transitions. And like you said, I know a lot of people where a partner has passed away, or there's a shift in relationship, and that any kind of change, even the fact that we are changing how we're doing work, all of those are major transitions that affect the body. And so it's important to notice that the shock can take many, many forms.
Exactly.
But you might not think, even if it's something you want, you know, a positive transition, it can still create an effect on the body that these particular breath and meditations can support your nervous system so that you don't react. So it's a wonderful thing to know that find things that support your nervous system.
Yes. And the other thing to also be very compassionate about is, of course, understanding that maybe you're not going through this because, you know, you're using your tools and, you know, you're doing good, but maybe there's someone in your family or someone close to you that is really struggling right now with something that appears to be something like this cold depression, and it's really concerning you. They will begin to behave in ways that you may not recognize. And this is for you to come into a place of understanding and compassion about that, and allowing things to be. Everyone's handling what's going on in their very unique ways, and everybody's core wounds are coming up right now in big ways. So that we can look at it, so that we can heal these core wounds, so we as a humanity can move forward from these wounds into a higher state of peace and happiness and bliss. But we have to be willing to look at our core wounds and deal with them and witness them and love them, and not keep running from them or suppressing them. So know that any type of mantra, meditation, breath work can really help to bring up some of these deep core woundings so that they can be shifted out energetically. So
I want to add
yeah.
that any kind of prayer tradition that you're part of, you
Mm-hmm.
can always call in grace and
Yeah.
call and ask for help. That in and of itself daily is an important thing, because we forget to ask. I forget to ask for angels to come in, or a particular saint or a particular person that you feel connected to, for masters that have lived on earth before. And it doesn't hurt to ask for additional support, because they're there and they're ready to give it to you. So just a reminder of that as well, in addition to these tools.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to start now. We're going to walk you through. We're going to start with a relaxing breath that creates a whole brain state, so that all of you is here, your right brain, your left brain, you're all here. So I'm going to hand this over to Tina so that she walks you through that very simple breath process. And of course, if you have questions, you can type them into the chat at any time and we will address those. So Tina, take it away.
Wonderful. Well, before we begin the breath, I'd like us to tune in. So just like I said before, that prayer, any kind of prayer, any kind of intention from a graceful heart will bring in that extra support. So we're going to do that in this tradition. It is Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. We chant that 3 times, and I'll go ahead and do that. And basically, Namo is naming or bowing to. Om is the infinite teacher that exists, and Guru Dev is the inner teacher. And so we're bringing it into the form that is us. So we're grounding into our bodies when we chant this, and also calling on the beautiful teachers who have lived before, who can support us. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And Linda put it in the chat. So let's go ahead and begin rubbing your hands together. Stretch in any way that feels good for you. Spine straight, whether you're in a chair or on a yoga mat. Bring your hands together in prayer pose, which is a balancing of the brain. Thumbs to the heart center, inhaling, exhaling, and inhaling to tune in. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Inhale. Gently retain the breath. Exhale whenever you need to, but if you can retain a little bit longer, focus at the point just above where the eyebrows meet. Exhale, relax. Set an intention that you may have for yourself before we begin. Your left hand, you're going to bring your pointer and thumb together, rest it on your knee. You're going to take your right hand, right thumb, press against your right nostril. Inhale fully through the left. Take your right hand and either index or pinky, cross over in a U, exhale out through your right nostril. Fully inhale through the left. Fully exhale through the right. You might want to use a tissue if you need to. We'll go ahead, get comfortable, inhaling deeply. Spine straight, chin in a bit towards your chest. And go at your own pace. This is alternate nostril breathing. Focus at that point just above where the eyebrows meet. That activates your brain with your eye gaze. Inhale, belly out. Exhale, belly in towards spine. This releases computations, creates new perspectives, and balances both sides of the brain. You can do this anywhere at any time to bring overall calmness to the body and to the nervous system. Inhale deeply, bring your hands down. Retain the breath gently. Focus at the brow point. Exhale. Allow your breath to come back to normal. Relax your hands. Stretch your legs out if you're on your mat. Windshield wiper your feet. Pedal your feet. Notice any changes though. Stay inward. Stay inward. We just did that for 2 minutes. Notice what it can do for just a short amount of time to change your mind and your emotions.
People have forgotten that breath is life. You're breathing in literally God's respiration. So when you're breathing in and you're exhaling, you're literally breathing in spirit and exhaling spirit. So when you breathe from a conscious spiritual place, just breathing normally, even without even doing the alternate nostril, but just breathing normally and slowly and consciously and realizing I am breathing in God's spirit and I'm exhaling what doesn't serve. Even that consciousness when you breathe is powerful to shift your mind, your attitude, your mood. So just know that breath is so powerful when you do it consciously.
And in a yogic breath, if you just put your hands on your belly and you inhale belly out and feel your belly expanding, and then bring your belly back in on the exhale, you're actually training your body to breathe in the yogic way, which is bringing more oxygen into the body, which seems counterintuitive to how we normally breathe. So inhaling belly out, exhale belly in is great when you're going through intense shock as well. Bring more oxygen to the body. And we're going to move into a different chant now. And I'm going to put that up here. Now, it's Wahe, you'll hear Wahe Guru, you'll see that written in different places, but it's a voix. And how I was taught is it's kind of like turning over bubbled water, bottled bubbling water, and going wah, 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 wah. So voix, 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 voix. So what that does is you're actually activating certain meridians in your mouth. So Vwahe Guru, Vwahe Guru, Vwahe Guru, Vwahe Geo. So this is a particular chant. And as you can see here, Vwahe Guru by itself alters your destiny, connects you to your true purpose. Vwahe is this wow, ecstasy, this incredible, indescribable wisdom that you're connecting to, some divine wisdom. And Guru is bringing darkness to light or bringing awareness where it was hidden. So repeating that, you're bringing that into the body, into the places where you feel a stuckness or you don't feel connected or you don't, wherever that is, the chant replaces that with the connection that is really true, the real truth, which is that we're connected to this indescribable wow, right? And geo means soul. So you're connecting to that incredible divine wow ecstasy to here and now, to your own soul. So it's Vwahe Guru, Vwahe Guru, Vwahe Guru, Vwahe Geo. And how we would normally, and Linda wrote it in the chat. And so it's going to sound like this. So if you want to kind of practice with me a little bit, it's Vwahe Guru, Vwahe Guru, Vwahe Guru, Vwahe Geo. Vwahe Guru, Vwahe Guru, Vwahe Guru, Vwahe Geo. Vwahe Guru, Vwahe Guru, Vwahe Guru, Vwahe Geo. So again, connecting to our inner teacher as well, this infinite wise part of us that knows exactly what to do for us in this time. So Linda is sending the link of music, but she's going to be playing it. But before we do that, I want to show you what the hand movement's going to look like. So you're going to interlace your fingers, and then your fingertips are going to press the back of your hands ever so slightly. So it's kind of in between the ridges, of the back of your hand. You're going to press slightly there. You're going to bring your index fingers up in front of you, and then you're going to relax your hand right in front of your heart. Relax your elbows and to your side as well. And your eye gaze, which takes a little while to get used to, is focusing at the tip of your nose. All those times we were told not to look at the tip of our nose because our eyes will stay that way. Well, that's not true. It's actually a very ancient yogic tradition to do so. And what it does is it activates the frontal lobe of the brain and changes the brain chemistry. So that's what we're doing with the chant music and the eye gaze. Okay, so it's going to look like this, and then we'll begin chanting. Linda, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, so basically all of these different parts, okay, that we're adding. So we've got our mudra, okay, so the way we're holding our hands, there's a science behind every single thing we're doing. This isn't just some random, oh, we're going to hold our hands some weird way and chant these interesting, strange words. This is scientific, actually. It's been around for thousands of years. And so it's important to know that when you hold a mudra, a hand position, you're actually touching acupressure points on the hands, okay, that are actually activating parts of the brain when we hold our hands in this particular way. And people who've studied reflexology, where we have all of our organs mapped on our hands and our feet, by touching certain things together, we're actually activating organ systems, okay, when we do mudras. The other thing is that when we chant these specific words, in this case, we're chanting Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Geo. And we'll have music in a moment, so you can just follow along with the music, no big deal. But when you say Wahe Guru, your tongue is touching certain parts of the palate, the upper palate, which also are acupressure points that activate chemical releases in the body, such as endorphins, etc. So know that there's a science behind each of the things we're doing that actually creates a very interesting release of brain chemistry in the physical body. So actual physiological change happens in your whole body and in your brain and in your brain chemistry that begins to literally release you from the cold depression. So this particular practice that we're going to do today, minimum 3 minutes is the directions for this particular mantra, is for 3 minutes up to 31 minutes of just sitting here with the eyes focused at the nose, holding the mudra and chanting for up to 31 minutes. But the minimum is 3 up to 31. And this actually, the longer you're able to stay in this particular position, which is a real pretty relaxed one, so you could easily do 31 if you wanted to. The longer you can stay into this, the deeper the shift that happens in the body physiologically, and the longer lasting the results. So if you do this every day for 31 minutes, you're going to be quite blissed out and happy most of the time, because it really does have that level of impact. I mean, we're not kidding. So we're encouraging you and inviting you to start with at least the minimum of 3 minutes doing this practice, and then building up to 31 minutes over time. And that could take a couple of weeks for you to get to 31, or you could get to 31 tomorrow. You might get so blissed out with this that you're like, I just want to keep going with this. So just know that there's a science behind each of the things that we are instructing and inviting you to do, only because there's you'll feel it after we've done this this chant for a little more than 3 minutes. We're going to do it for a little more than 3 minutes. You're going to notice afterwards the huge shift that happens in your whole body, your mind, your mood, your attitude, just from a couple of minutes. So just know that there is science behind the madness. Tina, did you want to share more about that?
Yeah, I was just also going to say, if you were on a yoga mat, I just wanted to kind of show you. If you have a meditation cushion or even rolling up blankets underneath you at your tailbone, and find that sweet spot so that you could sit for a long period of time without it being any pain for your back. Or if you're on a mat, go ahead and shake your legs out before we begin this meditation. Again, you could do this in a chair with your feet flat on the ground, so that whatever, but if you are on a mat, you want to definitely support your lower back before any kind of meditation. So
yes, exactly. So there are some people that, it's not the best choice for them to sit, in easy pose on the floor, and that's fine. This is a meditation that you can be sitting in your car and do this, or sitting at a park and just pop in your earbuds. And the music that I'm gonna share with you, I'm gonna share the screen in a moment, and you're gonna hear the music coming through. Now this is Zoom. Zoom is not a webinar type of a program, so the sound's not going to be the best, but you will still hear the mantra. And you can easily go to YouTube and find this music and just play it, or you can download it to your iTunes and just listen to it. So if for some reason doing the actual pose is not possible, if the mudra is not possible, maybe you're driving, and all you need to do is actually just play this particular chant, and just chant with it and visualize yourself doing this. The other thing that I want to also mention is that there is an awareness while you're doing the chant. So as you are holding your hands in the mudra and your eyes are focused on the nose, so it's like, patting your head, rubbing your tummy, the next step, if you can do it, is when you say wa, you focus on the solar plexus near the belly button. Hey is the heart. So wa, hey, guru. You focus on the lips. So wa, hey, guru. Wa, hey, guru. Wa, hey, guru. Same thing with wa, hey, geo. Wa, hey, geo. So you're in your mind, you're focusing on the solar plexus, and the chanting is coming from your core, from your solar plexus. So it's as if you've got a mouth down by your belly button, and you're actually chanting from that part of your body, and each word is focused on a different part of the body. So Wa is the core of you, He is the heart area, and then the lips, the throat or throat chakra. Wa, He, Guru. So just mentally, you're just visualizing the sound activating those parts of the body. So that's the last part of it that we want to add. I know it's adding some complication. So do the best you can. If all you can do is just hold this and chant, that's enough. And then over time, you can practice mentally focusing the sound so that it comes from the solar plexus, Wa, He, Guru. So you're just in your mind noticing that the sound is activating these parts of the body. I hope that makes sense. But if it doesn't, don't worry about it. You can still just chant. All right. Well, I'm going to share my screen right now so that y'all can see the music. And thank you, Tina, for sharing the link. So let me do my little
If
okay.
for some reason the music doesn't come through well, go ahead and mute. You can mute. Linda can mute. I don't know.
No, everybody's muted, so I think it should. Here, let's try it. Take a deep breath. Stay in the pose and just take a deep breath and hold that breath. And then exhaling through the nose, taking another deep breath. Hold and give back all of that cold depression back to God. Exhale, holding the posture. Inhale one more time. Hold at the top. Feel the preciousness of life right now as you hold that breath. Feel the preciousness of life. And then exhale and let it all go and just relax. And right now, keeping your eyes closed and focusing on the brow point, just keeping your eyes closed, just breathe normally. And then just notice the energy. We did this for about 7 minutes or so. And just notice how the energy is moving in and around you right now. You're just in awareness, just witnessing the shifts. And just keep breathing, staying inward for just a moment. Just allowing yourself to be in this beautiful state, being spiritually held by grace. knowing that when we chant holy vibrational words, we connect to divine source, and we invite that divine source connection back into our bodies, into our spirits, into our hearts, into our minds. And it begins to help us reconnect with ourselves and reconnect with our soul, which then begins to release that cold depression. So the invitation is for you to continue practicing this meditation, the breath work, breathing consciously, and doing this maybe 3 minutes several times a day, sprinkled throughout your day. Maybe sometime in the morning, during the lunch hour, sometime in the afternoon maybe, and then at night before sleeping. This is a beautiful way to get your energy back into a centered space, connected to source, connected to the source divine you, and inviting in that connection of yourself and soul again. And you will begin to see shifts around this cold depression type symptoms very quickly. You just have to commit to taking care of yourself this way. Commit to every day connecting to yourself and your soul, even if it's not in this particular way, but in any way that helps you feel connected to yourself and to soul. So just feeling that, moving into the heart right now, moving into gratitude. And just in this moment, being grateful. Grateful that you are here in this conscious circle of beautiful souls of light, knowing that we are not alone and that as one person shifts their energy, we all do. So know that when we come together in these conscious gatherings to support each other, to share spiritual tools, to honor the presence of Source here now, it's powerful. It can shift things for you very quickly. So that gift is here for you. Just breathing that in, feeling the gratitude, letting go of whatever your mind has been thinking lately that hasn't served you. So if your mind has been thinking things that have been feeding the cold depression in some way, if your mind has been in fear or in lots of anxiety, for right now, just let all that go. Just be in this higher state, realizing that in every moment you can stop thinking and move into these states through chant and breath and mudras, different types of mudras. So just breathing that in, long, deep breaths, allowing yourself to just be in these spiritually altered states. And these altered states are actually the state that we as humans want to be in most of the time. It's just that we've been living in a different kind of world that hasn't honored these higher spiritual states. So doing these practices help you to get used to being in these higher spiritual states so that eventually it's normal. So, they say meditation. Why do we practice meditation? It is so that we can be in a quiet state of mind 24/7. So meditation in and of itself is just a tool to be able to shift you into a state where you are mentally quiet for long periods of time. So people who have practiced different types of meditation over many years tend to have a more stillness in their being because they've just practiced it. And that's what meditation does. It just helps you practice coming into these more still, grounded states where you're just connected more to your truth. And meditation is one of the practices, chanting is one of the practices, breath work. These are all practices that help you get centered back to your truth, back to your connection with your soul. And that's what helps you to be able to be in quieter states of mind where you don't get easily spun out by what's going on in the outside world. And that's what's key right now. Practicing tools that keep you grounded no matter what kind of chaos may be going on out there. You have a practice that keeps you centered and grounded. This is your gift to yourself. This is a sacred gift you give to yourself. And by giving yourself this sacred gift, you're giving this sacred gift to the planet, to others, to your family. So an important point I want to make is that if you have family right now who are really struggling, who you may be noticing may be having symptoms of this cold depression or even worse than that, know that by you practicing this particular meditation, you are actually helping your family system and all those connected to you, because we're all one and we're all connected. So as you practice this, you're actually helping your family members who maybe they're just not into this, or maybe they won't ever do this, and that's fine. But if you're doing it, you're connected to them. So as you shift, you're helping them shift. So this is important to know, that you don't have to make someone else do this particular practice for your family members to gain benefit from you doing the practice. This is the gift you give to your family, to your loved ones, to your friends, to your coworkers, and to the world when you do this practice for just 3 minutes a day. That's a simple, easy gift to give to the world right now, is just 3 minutes a day of this, and watch the gifts that will come back to you. Tina?
Yeah, and I just want to add that during this time, it's a time of pause and presence. So offering your full presence to someone doesn't mean you even have to say anything, but just really, really being able to be loving and projecting love from your heart to someone doesn't require any words. And so these are tools to help you stay more present there for yourself, but also when you're with other people, you can just exude some of that peace to them. And that's a beautiful gift to offer the world right now. So just know that your presence is very, very important. And we said prayer too. And I just want to, if you want to, normally we would sing this in a yogic class, but I'm just going to recite it as a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
We end a Kundalini Yoga class with blessing ourselves first, because self-love is very much also a part of the Aquarian time of really, really honoring, again, our inner guidance, and also honoring us for being here at this time on the planet. And so blessing yourself in any way that you can is, like Linda was saying, a blessing that just ripples out. So we start by blessing ourselves, and then we repeat the prayer to a particular person, or in this case, the whole world, so that they also benefit just with blessing. So just join in when you can. And then we end with a Satnam. Satnam means truth is my identity. It's like namaste. So rub your hands together. Bring your hands in prayer pose. Thumbs at the heart. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling. And inhaling, and I'm going to recite the prayer. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. Now think of the whole world. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. Satnam. Thank you for bringing your presence here. Anytime we gather in groups of 2 or more, we actually magnify that loving presence together just by being ourselves. So thank you for showing up for yourself.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina, for teaching. You're such an amazing, beautiful teacher of this work. I always love bringing her on because she always adds these beautiful details that just make it so much more meaningful. So I wanted to also, if anybody has questions that you want to type into the chat for either Tina or me or both of us, anything that's coming up for you right now, anything that we covered that you need some clarity on that maybe wasn't clear, So I just want anyone who wants to type any questions into the chat right now, we will address those. And I also want to let everyone know that I'm going to type it into this Saturday at 9 p.m. Central. I'll be sending out an email about this, but you can put it into your calendar. They are calling for literally a global meditation all around the world, and they need and want or asking for at least 1 million people to all come together and meditate all at the same time, all around the world. So the time falls at 9:45. That's the actual time that everyone's going to start, 9:45 Central. So depending on where you are in the world, oh, okay, great. Tina, Jessica wants to see what the mudra looks from the side. So what it looks like. So the thumbs, either right over left or left over right, whichever one is comfortable. It almost looks like you're like you know, when kids put together the gun thing. That's what it looks like. Yeah. Does that, Jessica, let us know if that makes sense, if you can see that. So the side. Okay, so back to the meditation. So there'll be a global meditation on Saturday. Okay, thank you. On Saturday, 9:45 p.m. is when it begins, and it'll be for 20 minutes. So I'm going to start a Zoom call at 9 p.m., and we're going to practice getting into the state. So there's been some people who have never meditated before. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the astrology of this moment. It's going to be a powerful one, April the 4th, this Saturday. So I'll be talking a little bit about the astrology. And I'm also going to be sharing some information on how we can be in a state of surrender. Instead of having an agenda around the meditation, we want to be in a state of surrender so divine source flows through us during those 20 minutes, so that whatever's the highest and best for the planet and humanity at this time, that's what is. I know that there's some information that's being passed around about this meditation, that they want people to kind of hold a particular agenda. And the message I keep getting is that we don't know what's best for the planet, because if we did, we wouldn't be in this mess to begin with. So for us to hold an agenda on Saturday around the meditation, the guidance I got was that's your ego speaking, instead of allowing yourself to surrender and allow divine source to flow through us during those 20 minutes of silence and meditative silence, so that the greatest outcome for the planet happens. It could very well be that, you know, the situation with this virus that's happening right now, it's actually creating powerful change on the planet that we need right now. So the virus isn't the problem, actually. I know it may appear that way to us, but there is a bigger divine plan happening right now that we can't see, that we literally can't see yet. So the message I keep getting for the meditation on Saturday, this global meditation, is that for us to hold the surrendered space as a surrendered vehicle to allow just divine light to flow through us into the world, and let that divine light do its magic. So it's kind of like, I'm going to let grace flow, and grace is going to do it. All I have to do is just sit quietly for 20 minutes. So we're going to start at 9, and we're going to count. I'm going to, like I said, go through some information to get us set up so that we can be ready to meditate for 20 minutes, and I will time that. And so at 9:45, we'll start the 20 minutes of silent meditation all together as one. There's a lot of different groups doing it, so you may be part of another group, that's fine. But if you want to be part of a group where we all come together, makes it easier for us to all do it when we're together versus trying to sit by ourselves for 20 minutes and doing it in our living room, you know, without that support of other people around us. So just know that I'll be sending out information about that. Anyone can jump on who wants to jump on. It's going to be open to anyone. So you can invite as many people as you know. So we're trying to get the word out all over social media so that everybody can tune in at whatever time 9:45 Central is for you to tune in and get quiet for those 20 minutes. Give that 20 minutes to divine, to humanity, and to our planet. So so the more people that step into this moment of silence, the more powerful the shift on this planet will be. That that just brings in so much grace. So I'm just encouraging as many people as can to, even if you don't want to be on the call at 9, you don't need to be. Just put it down. So 9:45 Central, whatever that time is for you, wherever you live in the world, put that in your calendar and just set the timer. And for 20 minutes, surrender yourself in silence to Divine Source. And let's see what magic we as a humanity can do on the planet. I'm so excited about this. I know that there have been many movements to try to get many people to come together in meditation in the past, but this is the first time that I am sensing such a unity of, I feel we're going to have way more than 1 million people. I just sense it. I'm like so excited about it. So mark your calendars, mark the time. Again, you don't have to be on my call. You can be on somebody else's group call, or you can do it by yourself, but just commit 20 minutes Saturday night, even if it's past your bedtime. Just put on an alarm, wake up, and for 20 minutes, go into silent surrender and just invite grace to flow through you. Tina, do you have anything to say about that?
Just, I think, magnifying again what we've created tonight together. We're going to do it exponentially with intention. So you can just intend to have an open heart. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
it takes you. And I
Yes.
also wanted to let people know that I do custom yoga sets for you and can record them for you and teach it to you live from wherever you are. But I am also doing a particular yoga class on starting this Sunday. It's a series, but it's a little bit more physical because some of us need a little bit more physical movement on the mat because we are in close quarters for such a long time. So I really wanted to offer that. So let me know. I'll just give you my website, and you can just say, yeah, I'm interested in a one-time deal just to see what that's like, or want to maybe do a series or a custom class or something. So just get in touch with me. Let me know if that's something you're interested in.
Absolutely. And also, I also want to let everyone know that if you scroll to the very top of the chat, the first link I put in was the Zoom link, so ignore that. It's the link right under where it says wrong link, sorry. Underneath that is a link so that if you're new to these offerings, you can just click on that to sign up to keep getting these announcements of the different things that are going on. I am doing lots of things right now to offer to support people out there, and I'm posting those on my YouTube channel and then through emails. And tomorrow night, I'm working on something else right now that I'll be probably offering tomorrow night. I'm not quite sure the time, probably 7:30. Will be another energetic support process. On Saturday nights, the meditation, and then on Sunday, I'm going to be combining forces with Gwendolyn Terra. Some of you know her. She's a constellations guru. She's amazing. And we're going to be doing a community constellations on Zoom that's going to be powerful. So if you've done constellations before, please come. If you haven't done constellations before and you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, come please, because the more people that can jump on this community experience, the more powerful. So we're going to be moving energy. I think we've set it for 4 o'clock on Sunday, 4 o'clock Central. But again, I'll be sending out an email that gives you all the details. You can click on the Zoom and just join. All these things are free right now to support you and to assist you. And then, of course, we always, right now, all of us that are individual solopreneurs, we're being quite affected financially in very dramatic ways. So donations or assisting by doing some of our other services is always something that is a great sacred exchange. So we thank you for that as well. But we really want you to share these gifts that we're giving to anyone and everyone you know, because somebody out there doesn't realize that there's support for them. And this could be that link that helps them to feel like there's hope, because you don't want to get into hopeless states right now. That would not serve. So just know that there's going to be a lot of free things that I'm putting out there that will help to support. Let's see, any other questions? Okay, great. And Tina put all these links up. So for those of you that don't know this, when you click on the chat, there's this 3 little dots next to the little thing that says file, and it says save the chat, and you can actually save the chat to your computer so that you can save all that information. Or you can just copy and paste it right now so that you can keep the chat. Because when I send out the replay, the chat is not part of the replay. So just know that that's all that'll be gone. So anyway, any last questions before we close for tonight? I just want to make sure everybody was clear about what we covered, or if anything else is coming up that needs addressed.
I'm just curious, did anyone notice any change from when we began? Any kind of just some awarenesses that want to be shared with our group that we can read, that we
Yes.
love? Because it's nice to know. I think what's so powerful about this particular tradition of Kundalini Yoga is that a little bit goes a long way. And I was very struck by that when I did one class, and I'm like, wow, that was like way more than I ever felt in just doing a different type of yoga that I had been doing for years. And I had such a dramatic shift for me personally, because that's what I needed in this season. So I'm curious if you have any awarenesses that you'd like to share.
So I got a question, how to save the chat. So if you look at the bottom of the chat where you're typing in, to the right, there's this little square with 3 dots in it. You click on that. And when you click on it, there should be at the very top, it says save chat. You just click on that and it should be able to save the chat to your computer. Now, everybody has different kinds of computers, so it might look different on your computer, but that's what it looks like.
On it may look even different, so just.
Yeah. Or you can just copy and paste right now. Just, click on the chat, copy the information you want, and then paste it into your own Word program on your computer is the other way you can do that. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to process this replay, and then I'll post it on YouTube, and it'll have some of the links in the YouTube description. So you'll get some of that there too. So hopefully that answers. Okay, yeah. Wonderful. Well, I hope this supported all of you. Sending you lots of love, knowing there's lots of love here for you. All of us beautiful light workers in the world are doing incredible amounts of our own personal work to really help the planet and help our clients. So just know that you are loved. You are not alone. You can reach out and get the support you need through the things that we offer and through the things that are out there in the world right now that people are offering. So
just
don't
remember,
isolate.
your own wisdom, your own guidance, which will kick in high gear. Just know that's what this is about, so that you'll know exactly what you need at all times, and that's what we're helping support.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, I'm going to seal everybody in loving light, saying thank you so much to Tina and her loving light and her gifts. And with that, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done.
It is done.
Blessings, all of you. Mwah. Have a beautiful night. Maybe turn on the music and chant some more before you go to bed tonight to assist you. Much love, everyone. Bye.
Bye.